some of the wonderful, they didn't need to come at the expense of wanting to connect with another. But enough, I'm willing to whip. So know that you're operating in wholeness, or if we don't, command it. Hi guys, it's Jordan, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my episode 5, so we're in it together. I am so excited to be here with you. We're, doing the thing. And so let's hop into it. For today's episode, I wanted to talk about friendship and adulthood, and really what that relationship entails and what that's looking like for me and my experience. So from the get, I'm thinking, college into young adulthood and then adulthood in general, but also 2023. What are people doing? How are people reacting or building community? That's something very important to me. I value my friends so dearly, I am not afraid to reach out or just check in when I have an inkling. But more than that, when I hang out, I want to give my entire self to the experience, If we're going out to a restaurant or a club, I want to make sure that conversation's genuine. I've built out this time in my schedule to take in my friend for everything that they are. That's the beauty of it. But today, or in the last few years, I'm not gonna lie, I want this video to be very transparent and open share, if you will, for the people that know that are going through that same experience. People have pulled back. Obviously, we went through the panorama, and there was a extended period of isolation, or people, taking self-care to a new level, or understanding their mental health and how they need to show up for others. I completely understand that. But if I take it back to the beginning, at least in my experience, I had just, movie dreamlike kind of friendships in my undergrad experience, where I connected, I saw them every day, and I want to put out, I was friends with people from different majors, and so, we found the connections outside of just our academic interests or, achievements. And, you find that connection and you thrive, and it's just this beautiful thing that you can appreciate, and that adds color to life, to your schedule. Maybe you have work and you're, down and not necessarily living for what that experience is. Friendship or a coworker or, someone can really be that light to help you find yourself again or understand why life is so magical. And that's just something in my life, even prior to college. I've always been able to curate really solid friendships with people that I respect and I care about, or that I want to learn something from, or even notice, something in them is being reflected, about myself, and that's something to take in. Now, when you graduate college, there's obviously, in a similar way to high school, there's a separation. And so people have to develop themselves, people have to develop their lives, I have probably 2 or 3 close friends from college that I keep in touch with, and a bunch others, a whole host of others that I can message randomly for anything, and we could reconnect. But in terms of what's stayed true and natural and has developed into its own thing, that's really, 2 or 3 people for me. And then because I'm a performer, because I'm an actor and artist, you build really wonderful friendships and connections through those experiences, because you have your contracts, you have your performances, you have your rehearsals, and that's just lots of interpersonal time where people can reveal themselves and be vulnerable and willing to connect with people that, you never know where things go. And so, first, I want to preface, I love everyone in my life, and anyone that sees this video, know that, I love you in our own way, the way that you and I connect. And I don't want you to receive this in a way that, I'm talking about them. This is something larger that, sure, I'm pulling from a variety of relationships that maybe I would like to bring myself more to, or I've had to pull back from. But don't be offended. Just receive it and take it for what it is, you know? Apply it to yourself. I know I'm not your only friend, but I'm just offering a bit of truth and a bit of honesty in terms of what people can expect or see in their day-to-day. Now, post-college, there's that separation, and in my case, I went straight from undergrad into grad school. Now, I have some really wonderful people I've met, some friends from grad school, but what I didn't know then was that those friendships would be different. You know, that personability that you care about or that you're looking for in just friends, I don't know. Day to day, you should have fun, you should be able to go out, have people to text or call. It's important to have that in your life, but in grad school, I made friends. Absolutely, I can text them, call them, but they're closer to colleagues in the way that I artistically respect them and know that I can go to them with, you know, a question or in need of advice in terms of what's happening in the industry, or, you know, maybe something developmentally I want to do or I'm working on. Very much I have those relationships that feel very, very solid. But the personal ones where you just want to get together to giggle or laugh or share thoughts, that's been something that I felt recede as I've aged or continued my journey and matriculated into the city. You know, if what I mentioned with graduating from undergrad is true, you know, it stands to reason that the same thing would be true from grad school. And so I have a couple people that I connect with, that I touch base with, but it's not every day. And I think more people need to be talking about that because, sure, you know, I think you have to make way for new friendships as well as maintaining the older friendships that enrich your life or that become a really useful or just majestic sort of resource, you know, spiritually to refill your cup, but being open to new friends and seeing where that goes is really become an integral part of how I operate in the city. But that doesn't excuse the loneliness that comes with not having those people immediately there for you, not having people to message randomly on a Wednesday to see if they want to come over and hang out. People are busy, people have their schedules, people have responsibilities, and yet oftentimes that's not the focus when we think about how am I going to sustain myself. And I think that's why I wanted to make this video, because it's a larger point of independence or discovery, self-awareness, self-love that creates the vessel for you to pour that energy into, which is really yourself. But you say that out loud and there's a doubt that starts to form when you're not really sure if that's what you want or you think there's something better out there. I think friendship as you age or get older, you know, a lot of people say it's difficult to make friends. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I think the positions we put ourselves in order to be open and be vulnerable have to be tested and know that they won't be weaponized against us, or the interaction in and of itself is true and in addition to life. You know, you don't want to welcome toxic people into your life. You don't want to take on lessons or tribulations that aren't exactly meant for you. Or maybe they are meant for you, but they didn't have to come with the expense of wanting to connect with another human being. And so I've come on here to say, you know, I've had to grow into getting to know myself and appreciate what being alone can be, but acknowledge a lot of times we struggle to accept peace or the quiet in our day-to-day and enjoy the hubbub and how that's motivating us. But really that's just taking advantage of stress in order to have a source of motivation to keep you going. You know, there's a lot of conversations around losing ambition when you come into a state of peace or have healed yourself from life's traumas or relationships that did hinder you or continue to hinder you. And that lack of stress, that lack of ambition is really fighting peace and understanding that if you want to go do something, you then have to be in choice to go do something. And a lot of people don't realize that you need to be more in choice with how you operate in your friendships. One thing that I've had to say out loud, embolden, is that friends are not going to be everything for you. You know, some friends are. It's a tiered system. You have people that reach that inner sanctum within yourself to be there for you when you need them to, or connect at any point and you can laugh. It doesn't matter time, it doesn't matter location. You know, friendship really is something that's, you know, it's not tangible, but you can speak to it. You can acknowledge what two people or a party has gone through and know that we did that, you know? Not enough people come into an awareness to be able to speak about their life from an external point of view. And so if I'm doing anything, I know that I'm offering people the language or the space to know that someone else is going through that same thing. But what I will say in terms of how I've matriculated, how I've grown beyond just feeling lonely or feeling like I'm uncomfortable to go out and do something by myself, you know, are people gonna judge me? That's all in the head. It doesn't matter. And it's easy to say it doesn't matter, but when you're working through getting to do something, a lot of times I like to view that as how you know it's really important and meant to be done. And so hopefully that's a way you can challenge yourself in order to accept the notion that's meant for you, you know, that you just have to step into and do. You know, go see a movie by yourself, go to a restaurant by yourself, go to the museum, you know, and don't be afraid if you see a stranger, you know, in your peripheral and they seem willing or able to ask for something, ask a question, ask for a photo, you know. If you make a friend that way, even better, you know, obviously stranger danger, but don't be afraid to take life into your hands and lead, craft, write the narrative, create it, because, and I'm speaking to myself because I love my friends. I've had deep friendships where, you know, I'm willing to risk so much of myself, and this is something that I've had to learn to, you know, remove or step back, is that, you know, I'm willing to go there in order to commit for someone else. But know that when you're doing that, there's no guarantee of that being reciprocated. And so it does need to be from a true place when you know that, you know, everyone's operating in their own experience. And so expectations really can be the devil, or a slippery slope to become self-deprecating when that's not necessary. Also, with mental health or spirituality or self-awareness, understanding that if this person is your best friend, you really need to be operating with a level of discernment to know whether you are their best friend as well. What is that relationship actually to you? Are they a benefit? Because a lot of times there's no guarantee with who we establish these relationships with. And so if you care about them and you enjoy the way that they show up in your life, hopefully they're showing up in your life, then you know you're not sacrificing anything that you won't receive on the back end. Or you have to know emotionally, spiritually, there's an openness there where communication can occur. And if you have a problem or if you want to contribute, know that you're being welcomed in wholeness versus being chipped away at. Or is there a tang of jealousy? That's really just unacceptable, and it's 2023. Know that you're doing what you need for yourself, because your friend should have your back. And a lot of times that is just not the case, or things are busy, and so you have to change your focus and come back to that person when they're ready to take on you, or take what you're willing to offer, and be able to share and multiply in whatever is produced from just having fun together, being joyful, you know? Be willing to laugh, I swear. It's not complicated, it's not hard. It should be natural. And if there's a snafu, if there's something that goes wrong, if you know that you care about that individual, leading with sincerity is so much more respectable or appreciated when you know that that other person really has your back. Sometimes I wonder if people are really willing to be vulnerable, knowing that the goodness of it all is on the other side. You know, people can hurt, and that's just a matter of people learning to be their best selves in their own time. But for what I'm speaking to, friendship and knowing who you are and knowing how you matriculate and why things are the way that they are, know that everything that is meant for you is already available, and everything that you might want or feel like you need is coming in its own way, in its own time, when you're ready to receive it. Sometimes I think people want to jump the gun or be the success, have everything, before mentally they've really arrived at that place of being, you know? That place where I'm a mountain and I'm standing on my own. So let's be a quarry together, you know? Let's be a land formation or a cityscape or a countries. Let's just take each other in and respect that, and hopefully that contribution is enough, because when you haven't healed and you haven't been able to take to task that you are a project that needs to be, you know, developed, or your marble that's constantly chiseling away at what your perfection looks like. I know people are afraid to be great, but when you have someone and you're willing to stand beside someone, or stand up for someone, or offer real advice, real encouragement, then souls are connecting, and you know you're in it for the long haul. So hopefully this video is just a way for someone to know that they can connect with someone, and know that it's a risk, but it's a risk that's worth taking. And even operating from a place of loneliness, or a place of being one within yourself, to know what you stand for and know the crap you're willing to take, is really what I mean when I'm talking about friendship that's right for who you are right now. Yeah. I hope I'm not... My hope is that I'm not encouraging anyone to be lonely, or I'm not encouraging anyone to not move forward, but know that you're moving forward regardless. And so accept the journey and start to map it out, craft it, and see where you go, because that really is the fun part about, even with everything going on in life, of what we're meant to be experiencing. Life isn't meant to be hard. We're meant to be laughing. We're meant to connect with each other. But if we don't say it out loud, if we don't command it into existence, then what are we doing? Thank you so much for watching this video. I believe in us. I believe in my channel. I believe in the messages we're sharing. And again, if you like what I'm doing, give my video a like, subscribe, enjoy the channel. You know, I'm just starting, but I believe so much in a community that is just enjoying each other and enjoying the common sense of wanting to be our best selves, and knowing that operating in wholeness, in truth, for your best intentions, the best intentions of others, is really the most attractive thing about how we can proceed in our daily lives, in our weekly lives, you know? Having something to look forward to or look back on for the year. And so that's my belief, and I'm gonna make it work. And so we're enjoying it together. Again, my name's Jrdn. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.